The most important thing to think about, I think, is the maturing of this whole ad blocker mentality that I think is happening from a consumer perspective. So I think we're going to see a lot more brands realizing that they're throwing good money after bad with paid advertising when the content doesn't reflect some sort of consumer need. So I think there's going to be a correction in the ad market. We're going to start to see a lot more money spent on content creation and paid distribution of customer-centric content. For me, it's kind of, I've always been a kind of a voracious reader of stuff. You know, when I got out of college, I read like Fast Company religiously and even Business Week. And I read LinkedIn Pulse, I look at Twitter. There's probably 15 or 20 blogs that I subscribe to. My inspiration really comes from looking outside at what other people are creating and what seems to be working. I get the Daily Dig. I don't know if you know that newsletter. YouTube. I look at just all the social platforms that we're all using and try to figure out what people are consuming and why. Yeah, so I think my favorite line is that your brand is not what you sell. The more and more we see brands that are nailing customer experience or that really believe and then promote a corporate identity that people can relate to. So you're talking Starbucks and Apple. Why do they have that kind of engagement? It's not because they spend time focusing on their corporate identity. They just create that people want, right? So I think the focus, the 100% focus should be on creativity and finding the niche that your company can uniquely serve and filling that better than anybody else. All right, so I'm gonna cop out and say the Who Greatest Hits. It wasn't actually an album until like 8 years ago, but hey, if you force me to pick a real album, I'd go with Led Zeppelin self-titled first release. And then one marketing metric is easy. It's subscriptions. Subscriptions measure the effectiveness of the content you're creating. It's a measure of not just reach and engagement, but also conversion. Yeah, so I'm going to answer that question a little more broadly, right? So I think the value in every social platform that we use or that our target audiences might use is not just in the content we publish or promote, but also in the connections that we're creating, right? And so LinkedIn is amazing, I think, because LinkedIn's founding was really on creating those connections. And then there's I think a virtuous cycle that happens when you've got the right connections and the right content, and that sort of amplifier effect continues. So I love LinkedIn because I think it's enabling both of those things really well. It enables me to find the right people. It enables me to figure out what kind of content resonates with them. I still believe SlideShare is the biggest opportunity in B2B. I just don't understand why more and more brands aren't taking advantage of it.